Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock, right on time. Looks like everyone is here. First of all, can I get a motion to approve the minutes for last meeting?
I'll move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Do we need a second?
No.
No.
Wayne, what say you, Wayne?
Maybe he's not here. He might have stepped away. Do majority,
Majority, that's fine.
and then we're gonna do the agenda also.
Yeah, let's approve today's agenda. Can I get a motion?
I'll move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Majority. All right, I guess we'll move down to item 7 since we have Matt and Jennifer here with us today.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Now this was strictly inquiring about the variance for this lot.
Yes,
Yes.
requesting a 5-foot variance, which will keep the house away from the edge of the stream in the backyard. No, it's an unusual request. We respect that, but it really comes down to the amount of square footage we can build on. So that's why we presented the plans as they are. We have a nice, small, tidy house. It's going to look really great. But we're requesting a 5-foot setback variance so we can accommodate enough space so that we don't encroach the minimum 10-foot buffer from the edge of the stream. It will prevent, flooding into our house, which is a nice thing to avoid, seeing there's plenty of rain in the area. So that is
Yeah,
why.
the president and I walked all the way, the president of the HOA and I walked in the back in that property, and it looks pretty swampy way back there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it would look like on in November and October. It could probably fill up. You were actually there at the property, right? You've
Yes,
seen it? Okay.
Yeah, we've seen it. Yeah. So
Okay.
we did careful measurements and all that. The site planner had a look at it and all that, and came up with a plan and the size and the right size of the house. It meets all the minimums. It's just without that 5-foot setback variance, it's really
So
kind of killed the project.
what has the county said about all these variances? Because that is a wetland too.
Right. So we are working with the county on the wetland mitigation plan, and we have a hydrologist expert that we're working with, Katrina Jackson. So she's working with us to help figure all that out. Going to be using the finding an expert on land use, and then I've got a referral number for someone to do that. But when I presented the designs as they are, the concepts to I think it's Matt something from Sudden Valley, he didn't have an issue with it. He thought it'd be fine as long as Sudden Valley was fine with it. So this is the first domino that needs to go down first. So
yeah, I would like to see what the actual mitigation would be and what the county is actually saying about it at this point, because that is quite a variance for all sides on this property. I think we have a 50-foot away from a wetland, 50 to 300 foot, which I'm not sure what the designation of the wetland is, but depending on the designation, it is 50 feet. I'm not sure where the wiggle room is on this property is my concern.
yeah, let me address that. The plan is to mitigate property off-site, not on the lot here specifically, but to find another location, if within Sudden Valley or within Whatcom County in general, a couple of spots. There are a few areas that our hydrologist Katrina Jackson has identified, which we can mitigate, which will then be satisfied the requirements for the setback. So the county is aware of that. So like I said, we've been talking with them extensively, and we're all seem to be on the same page. And we think
yeah, one of my other really major concerns is that we have denied variances much less generous than this because builders have tried to build on property, contractors have come to us with these properties that they bought and said, we can build here if we can just move it up. I think the last one that came across our table was a 12-foot setback. And it
Mhm.
was also on a wetland. So it was very typical or very similar situation what you're in. And we get those every now and then. And I'm also concerned about precedent here. So I want to work with you. It's a beautiful little house. And if there's any way possible we can get it on there, we'd like to help you. See what else my committee might have for you. Any questions they might have.
Yeah, I think we wanted to see it staked out to know exactly where it's going to be going.
Yeah, and that's part of the mitigation too. What solution do you have there? And we need to actually see some other solutions before we can approve any kind of variance. And we do need to see specifically where the house would sit, because we do consider the context of it. And we looked at some of the other properties, the houses in that area, and the setbacks are a little closer than usual too. So that is something we consider. I'm sorry, Patrick, go ahead. Patrick, did you have more? I'm sorry.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're in Colorado, so we can't physically ourselves go and stake it out. We'd have
Sure.
to have our general contractor go and do that.
Sure.
Yeah. Who's your contractor?
It's Luke Enterprises LLC. They've built homes like this in the past, and they seem to, well, they assured us they can get this thing done, so it's not terribly complicated.
And is there going to be a deck coming off the front there, it looks like?
No, the deck will be in the back.
Okay.
It shows that on the PDF file.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the reference image that she provided, and that one shows it going all the way across the front.
Yeah, and again, that's just a comp from the
Yeah.
builder and about, so it's not an exact depiction of our house. It is the style.
Mhm.
That's all we can use that for. You can see the roof line a little bit, but yeah, we're having our deck in the back.
You can see it in one of the drawings, Patrick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wayne, do you have any comments?
Do we have?
I have a question. Do you have a garage?
Yes, and you can see that in the drawing as well.
It's under the house, right?
Correct.
I'm sorry, what?
It's under the
It's-
house.
Oh, okay.
It's a 2-car garage. It's under the right side of the house.
Okay, so in the nice picture they have, is it showing the garage?
Right. That again, that's a photo of the style of house that they built for another customer on another piece of land, but they did not have a garage attached to that house, so we included it as part of the drawing.
Yeah. Okay.
My impression is that, and we did go look at the property last Tuesday, and we didn't see any flags, so we really had a hard time envisioning what and where exactly the house would be situated. I'll be honest with you, this is a big ask, this variance. And I know you're in a tight spot, and it's a tough space to build. I don't think we could give you I don't think we could approve this as we see it now without more information, and also to find out what the mitigation is that you're considering. We'll consider variances. But again, this is, a little bit, not quite enough information for us to make a decision, I think. And I don't think we could give you quite that much of a variance anyway. Anybody else have any views on that?
No,
Pat?
I think we want to see it staked out as to where exactly it'll be and what the wetland area would be and the setbacks for that. So maybe have your builder go and do that?
Sure. I'll ask them to go and do that. The site planner also kind of did that as well and delineated, with his work, you can kind of see where it would be. And the site planner does good work, and so it's accurate. But yeah, I can ask my general contractor to go and stake it out, and then from there, what would you require?
I would like to see what the county says about what your mitigation is and how that would affect where the actual wetland is. Because from what I saw, what looked like where the wetland designation was, you were not near 50 feet. And I'm not sure how I'll have to talk to some of the staff about how we would measure the wetlands depending on the designation of it. So I need a little more information, I guess. So anything that you got from the county as far as your mitigation, I think we should have to see that before we can decide where we can give you any kind of variance.
Okay. You also mentioned that 5 feet doesn't seem palatable to you. What would be? Because we only have so much square feet between
Sure. Yeah, I
yard
understand that. And again, I mean, once it's a variance, it's a variance. So we would have to look at it in the context. It looks like there's a lot of, I'm not sure exactly where your property line was. So that's another thing we need to look at. We do consider each property on its own merits. So I couldn't give you a number. I know that I can tell you that the last one that we did not approve, they were asking for 12 feet. And we could not allow that because there are a lot of properties that could suddenly be built now. If we granted a variance of 5 feet, there are several properties that contractors would come to us and say, now what? Why can't we build here? So that's a big consideration for us.
Okay. Well, footnote then, there's not much more room we could move the house back without encroaching onto the stream and onto the wetlands.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the mitigation would entail or what it would mean to us. As far as I know, they can mitigate it all the way so that you can push it back. I don't know. I'm not sure what they do, but I think our committee would like to see a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're talking the same thing though,
Okay.
because it's not so much the mitigation, it is the edge of the roof, the footprint of the home cannot cross past the 10-foot barrier of the edge of the stream. And that's why the site planner designated it that way. And that's what Katrina Jackson had shared with us as well.
Where did you see 10 feet?
10 feet stream buffer. The edge of the roof line cannot cross past the 10-foot stream buffer. So
I'm not, I'm assuming, where did you get that number 10 feet?
From Katrina Jackson, or our hydrologist expert.
Was she referring to county or Sudden Valley?
County.
Okay, yeah, I think ours is 50 feet.
50 feet from the edge of a stream?
Yes, 50 to 300.
It depends on the type of stream.
Can you enlighten us a little more, Joel? Is there some mitigation that would somehow make this work?
It depends on it. I don't have the numbers on the top of my head. I could take a look in a few minutes, but it depends on a stream is fish bearing or not. I don't know. There's some other factors. I'm not.
Based on what I saw, it's not
familiar with it.
fish bearing, but I'm not sure.
No, it's not fair.
Yeah, and I think if it's not fish bearing, it has a smaller setback.
Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest thing that I'm considering is the precedent this would set, because that is quite a variance in every direction, I think.
I don't know what else to share with you. The house is as small as we can get it to meet the minimums as well. So we're kind of stuck. So we're hoping we can find a way forward and work together to figure this out, because if we don't, we simply can't build there. And
Well,
we wasted our time and wasted our money.
I would say that at this point, we can't decide. We couldn't approve as it's submitted, but we would review it if it was staked and we got a little more information about the mitigation, and I could work with Joel on that too.
Yeah, if you look at the ACC regulations at 14.5.2, it talks about the setbacks. And for environmentally sensitive areas, non-fish bearing streams, 50 feet, wetlands, 25 to 300 feet, depending on the wetland classification and activity.
Yeah, so by the books, there's no way that could be done. But again, I'm not sure what mitigation, how mitigation would change that.
Yeah, and it says, please refer to Whatcom County for site-specific setbacks and most current regulations. So, you know, it's kind of imperative that you get with them or have your builder get with them to find out about that, determine what it is.
Matt, do you have a copy of all these policies that we're looking at?
I do, and what's working in our favor a little bit is that this expert actually had done a report on the exact same property for the previous owners of this land, because they were trying to build a house in there as well. So they also had to consider the distance from an edge of a stream, and she worked through all of that to figure that out. And the house that she had, the house plan she put together to present, actually had a house bigger than the one we have, and encroached closer to the stream and seemed to be just fine with it. And she seemed to, she noted in her report that it didn't violate any of the county requirements, and everything seemed to fit. They just, their mitigation plan was to find other property somewhere else and put it into conservation easement to now then satisfy the mitigation requirements for the county. So that's one of the options which she looked at and put together and planned and evaluated, and was going to submit to the county. But then that previous owner withdrew and decided not to build on the land for whatever reason. But she did do the work with a bigger house in the same spot, and it seemed to satisfy the requirements for the county.
Okay.
My understanding too is when you're in a situation like that, where you're in within the buffer, you know, if it's a 50-foot buffer or 300 feet, you can still pursue a reasonable use permit through the county and still be able to build a home, provided you do the proper mitigation that they require. Matt, do you know if it's possible? Could the house, you know, it looks like there is some room on the left side of the lot. Is it possible? Do you know if the house could be moved to the left and then back further to increase the front setback? And, you know, if you had aligned the eaves on the left side of the house with the 5-foot setback to the lot, do you know?
Well, yeah, we can, in theory, we could place it a little bit, but there's really not too much more room without trimming the edges of the roof line down to 18 inches. I think that's what we're actually going with, instead of 2 feet, 18 inches, to give us more room. And we have had the site plan designer and builder kind of work with us to kind of put it in the right spot to see if we can't satisfy that 10-foot buffer for a reasonable use. And thank you for mentioning that, because that's the direction that Katrina Jackson was going, was to get that permit, which would only allow for, So we can see what we can tweak and get it as, you know, as much. We've tried this and we rotated the home and nudged it, you know, to the left and to the back as far as we can get it, so as far as we could see. The one thing we could do is maybe have a shorter back deck, which would then allow us to move the house even further, but there's not a lot of room in there. It's not a huge lot. There's so much space.
So what would the mitigation entail? Would they put what would they do to the property? I mean, you'd still have swampy area back there and a little creek going by.
Right.
What would keep you from moving the house back? So the mitigation would never involve moving the stream or putting a culvert in or anything like that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, the mitigation would be completely offsite.
Correct. That's my understanding.
Okay. Okay. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have enough information about how that mitigation would affect Sun Valley and our decision. So again, I think we need a little bit more information before we can approve this. Committee, do you have any other views on this, or?
No, I think, you know, once your builder gets that staked out and you get the information from the county as far as the wetlands, I mean, we'd be willing to go and meet out there with the builder or the the other person that you mentioned, a hydrologist or something.
Mhm.
And, you know, we'd be glad to meet with them and to go over that.
Okay,
You know, we want to help you as best we can.
Yeah,
okay.
Patrick, would you like to make a motion for this?
Yeah, I move that we deny the request for variance at this point.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll second it.
Okay, so it's unanimous?
Yes,
Okay, thanks. And yeah, get us some more information and we want to help you any way we can. It looks like you put a lot of work into this and we want to help you, but we also have to look out for our other members.
and we'll get on it as fast as we can, you know, when we get the information.
Definitely.
Right,
Okay, thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Daniel, we have another person here.
Okay.
Hi, Sunny. Go ahead and unmute. Sunny is here for One Morning Beach Drive, the condo tree.
I'm sorry, which item?
Number 3.
Great, okay.
I'm sorry, 4.
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, 3 and 4?
No, just
You know, just
4. Sorry.
Okay.
Sunny, can you hear okay? We're not hearing you. She's unmuted, but we're not hearing her. All right. Let us know. Do you know how to, excuse me, raise your hand if you can hear us?
Okay. All right, I think
her hand's raised now.
yeah. So I think all of us were wondering why this would come to us. Is this, we're wondering if this is just one person from one unit that is making this request and why it's not something that's coming from the condo
Condominium.
association?
I believe she's on the board
Oh, she's on the board.
of the
Okay.
condo.
Oh,
But
okay.
we probably, Sunny, if you're on the board, would you raise your hand? Yep. So she
So-
came as the board.
Okay.
We gave
Oh,
her
okay.
own address.
Okay. And is there a reason why this couldn't just be trimmed up to keep it away from the rooftop?
Oh boy, hard when you can't hear her.
Yeah, these were the main questions we had when we reviewed this. And it is helpful to know that you are on the board so that you're making a decision not just for yourself, but this is something.
We generally have to have something in writing from the condo associations. We always have in the past.
Yeah, I would think so.
Sunny, are you able to get a written, written letter from the entire board and resubmit? If you can, raise your hand. Okay, there she goes.
Okay.
Okay.
And also, what is there a reason why you couldn't trim the tree up beyond the rooftop that you're concerned about? So that would answer our other question if we can get that information too.
Let me try one other thing. Hold on
Okay.
just a second. I'm going to try
Sure.
promoting her to a panelist. Maybe that'll do it. Hang
Okay.
on. Because I'm sure it would be helpful if you could hear her. Let's see if it'll go. Okay. All right. Can say something.
Mm,
I heard something. Are you there, Sunny?
yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yay!
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
So you're speaking for the association? the
Yes,
condo-
I'm not exactly on the board of the association. On the landscaping committee, and I was asked to put this through and see and get the permits.
Okay, and is there a reason why you couldn't just trim the branches? It looks like
Well-
that would be the only problem with the
It's been
roof line.
trimmed. Oh, we thought as far as it could go. You trim it anymore, and you're going to kill the tree. So,
Are you concerned about the rooftop on both
yeah,
buildings?
we just replaced the roof, and the branches are beginning to rub on the roof.
On both buildings?
No, just on. It looked like just on one.
Okay, I mean, from what I see, it looks like you have one branch that is touching the roof.
On the
Yes.
left, the smaller building on the left? or
Yeah,
left?
that's what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
think we were just trying to keep it from getting too far gone and too big, so it wouldn't rub the roof
Yeah,
even in the future, I guess.
Well, for my mind, I would just trim that one branch. I mean, that seems like a pretty prominent tree there that would impact the landscape around it. If there's any other compelling reason that you need the complete tree cut down, I'd like to hear it.
No, really, I don't think there was.
Because I don't think it would be too detrimental to the tree to cut one or two more branches.
Okay, yeah, we could try that. It'd be a lot easier, a lot cheaper. So,
Yeah, I think so too.
so
It looks
Yeah.
like a pretty healthy tree, but I do see where it could be rubbing on even the eave there on the front of the house or the condo.
yeah, we're just concerned about our expensive shingle.
I
So-
know, a lot of people are in that situation in in Sun Valley, but I think that you're getting off pretty easy with just that one tree. And to my mind, and I defer to the committee too, it looks like one or two branches should do it, and you've got a really nice tree there.
Okay, we just thought it had been trimmed too far, and then we were afraid of killing the tree. But if you kill the tree, that would be okay too. So it's okay. It's okay. Then
Well,
then it's all gone.
We would want, a motion or something from the board where they approved doing this when you resubmit it.
Do I have to come back to you with a permit to cut one branch
No, I don't think so.
to
Like, if
trim
you-
it? I
Yeah,
mean,
if you're
to
just
trim
gonna
it.
if you're gonna do just that one branch, I
Yeah.
think you should be fine.
What about if it needs more? Would I need to come back to you for trimming?
From what I see, the size of those branches, I would say no.
Okay, okay. Well, that makes life easier
Yeah,
and and cheaper.
make
So,
it easier and cheaper, and I
Yeah.
think it's a better solution.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay. We went through the process, so we're good.
Yeah,
Let me see
so,
what it says here. About limbing.
What was that? I didn't
yeah, there's
get-
a certain percentage that you can't cut,
Right.
and there's a size of a branch that you can't cut. But other than that, from what I see here, it looks like it's you're well within your bounds to have some trimming. And it's probably recommended anyway.
Yeah.
Patrick,
It
are you
was-
looking at it?
Yeah, I'm reading this now. Says all proposed tree removal or limbing requires prior ACC approval.
Oh,
Well, we can approve that.
okay.
You
I'll
wanna,
go-
you wanna make a motion to that? Patrick?
Okay, I move that the request be approved for limbing of the tree in question. And that approval be obtained from the board of the condominium association.
So we would need to see a document from the association.
Yes,
I like that. I could second that. All in favor?
So you just need what kind of a
Just some
doc?
indication that this is a request from the board or the condo association rather than just
Me.
Sunny.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
But you still need a approval to limit then, right? Mhm.
I
I
Um,
think you're giving the approval to limit, right?
we
Yeah.
are, yes.
Pending,
Oh, okay.
pending receipt of the letter, which she can submit to ACC admin, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the motion. And I am seconding that emotion. Motion.
It's been a long snowy day.
All in favor?
Aye.
Was Wayne in on that?
Wayne?
Aye.
All right, unanimous?
And Sunny, you'll need a tree permit from ACC admin, so we'll give that to you when you submit the letter from the condo association.
Okay.
Thank you,
They
Diane.
would not did that. Okay. I didn't ask them how they just had a couple other trees cut. I'm not sure how they got that going there. I was assumed that the person doing it, which was on the landscape committee, just did it. So, okay, that's fine.
Regular maintenance is okay without approval, but since this went before the ACC and now you have approval, then it's just gotten a little complicated.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunny.
Thanks.
But bye-bye.
Aye.
Bye. Thanks, Diane, too.
Yeah, I'm glad she was here for that.
Yeah.
All right, so we are item 3. 10 Caddie Lane, Gate 1, garage door color.
I'll move to approve as submitted.
All in favor?
Then I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous? Item 5. 405 Sudden Valley Drive, Gate 3, fence, dog enclosure.
Love that lot.
Down to that
Yes,
one.
I'll move to approve as submitted.
Okay, we do have a request for a variant. We need a variance request for that too, because we did notice that the existing fences that are around this property are a little shaky because it looks like some of them are actually on her property. And generally, we do not approve this kind of fence, but it looks like all her neighbors already did that. So in order to clean things up a little bit and help her out with having to view all these other wonky fences, it's my impression that we should approve her request to build this fence, even though it's not a fence that we generally accept. And we do require a variance just to make it official. After speaking to Keith about this property, he suggested we get a variance just so it's on the record that this fence will not be 5 feet away from the property line.
I mean, that shed is practically on her property line or on her property too.
Yeah.
And looking at the fences that are already there, any fence in her yard will just make her yard look a lot nicer.
It will. So that's why we were even considering this. And I think it will make it look nicer there. So in addition to your motion, I would like to include that we do need to see a variance for this too. A variance request for the borders around the property.
We want to go approving option 3 or 4 from the first proposal.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, she could do 3 or 4, which is her her desire anyway. So the motion would be to approve the fence. Option 3 or 4 is fine, but we do need a variance because it's up against the property line.
So you just made that motion then?
Yes,
Okay,
I changed my motion.
I added to it. I amended it.
And I,
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's unanimous.
So Daniel, you made the motion rather than Joe Jean?
I'm not sure how that works. I mean, she had a good motion. I just wanted to clarify what Keith said. So we just added a little bit to her motion. Okay, it's her motion.
Okay,
I'll approve your changes to my emotion.
Okay.
You usually,
we've had somebody join the meeting.
Okay.
It's no, item 3. Hold on. Hi, Jeff. Unmute.
the garage door.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
I've used
yes,
something.
hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's-
sorry, I couldn't tell, like with Zoom, I couldn't tell whether you can hear me or see me or not on my iPad here.
you're late, but it's already been approved.
Oh, okay, thank
I
you.
hope
Yeah, I
that's
was in a
okay
meet,
with
I was
you.
in a work meeting until now. Figured I'd join and check
Yeah.
in.
I mean, if you're gonna make some arguments for it, but it's approved.
Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to be here, and if there's any questions, I could help. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
We only have 2 left, right? Item 6.
And 8. Yeah. Okay, let's go to item 6. 8 Little Palomino Court, tree removal, 1 tree. I wish that person was here. Does anyone have any opinions about this?
I didn't get to see this one, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered if there was, I mean, you need a county permit for this too. It's a 14-foot tree or 14-inch tree.
I happen to know that another tree fell on her house.
Right, yeah, I
An
see that.
An arborist had looked at that tree and advised that it go.
So Evergreen Tree Service, that's the name of the company.
Oh, let me look. Yep.
So they just want to remove 1 tree?
Yeah, it looks like there are multiple trees in the front of the house and they just want to remove 1. It says 1.
Yeah.
Right, because it's a hazard tree.
Okay.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Wayne? Aye. Okay, aye. Unanimous? All right.
Do they need any permit or anything to remove that?
I think they need a county permit and I think that's on their request. Is that right, Diane?
Yeah,
Are they
and
always clear that they need to do that?
the letter says Whatcom County permit as needed. In other words, we tell them, you figure it out. But
Yeah, and it's,
yeah.
I think it's on the request that tells them what the requirements are.
Yep, it's the double asterisks in the paragraph. It
Right,
says-
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. On to item 8, 5 Sunnyside Lane, gate 13. We went out and looked at this.
move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous?
Can I move to adjourn?
Yes, please. I'll second the adjournment.
What are we
Uh,
adjourned?
Yeah, we're adjourned. The meeting is adjourned at 6:40.